It's a few days since Davido released his album, and now that the whole vibe and the early buzz are settled, what will you rate his album in a scale of 10? I personally rated it a 7.5, and I saw online that a certain ex-influencer with a hairline that is going more backwards than the Nigerian economy rated the album a 2. And we also saw Shank, the comedian, skit comedian, rating the album a 7.
Let's say 7, 7. Let's give it 7. 7 over 10. 7 over 10 is fair. 7 over 10 is fair.
Omale alone has like 2 out of that.
But that Omale song has like 3. This song literally saved this album.
And guys, this thing kind of sparked a lot of controversy concerning Shank and Davido, especially the fact that there was something that happened during the time Kai Cenat came to Nigeria, and Davido's drivers couldn't carry Shank to his location at a particular time, and people started assuming that Shank had an issue with Davido. That's why he kind of like talked down on the album and rated it a 6.5, then changed it to a 7. In fact, he rated it a 7. So the whole thing even made Shank to even drop a statement, and this was what Shank said. I just got off some calls. I'm seeing blogs push the narrative about my Davido album rating that is cause I have issues with him based on that Kai Cenat P. If I had issues with Davido, I would have addressed it since whatever happened. Davido and I talked then, and it is done. Davido and I talked then, and it don't pass be that. There are too many tweets of me saying good things about him event after the so-called incident. I don't want to go into details, but I don't hold grudges with people. If I go tell you there's a full stop there which is not supposed to be there to your face, or I just cut you off, you go shall no say I sabi wetin you do. The narrative is not true. My ratings are genuine. For my first listen to the album, very genuine. I explained on stream, for those on stream, that I have no issues with him. There are clips of me dancing to different songs on the album everywhere. Why is that not posted on blogs? Negative Pisha, they turn on our own. All is well. Big love, Davido. Gracias, Lit Gang. So this is what Shank said, and I actually agree with Shank and Davido. I think after that time they settled their stuff, because the whole thing was not that deep. But you know, the online media will always try to stretch information and stretch what they can stretch, and create narratives just to create a certain picture or push a certain agenda. But leaving Shank aside, what do you guys rate the album? Personally, this album to me is a very good album. An album of 17 tracks, 16 songs, and the beginning, the track 1 was actually a spoken word poetry that was very cinematic, and I enjoyed the spoken word poetry. Like, it just puts you in the mood for the whole album. You could see that there was a blend of Nigerian features, which included Odumodu Black, Chike, and some other people in the album. Then the international features that were in the album were there: Shank, Chris Brown, and many more people were also featured in the album. The album itself was very enjoyable. I listened to the album, and I was actually reacted on stream listening to the album, and I enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. Apparently, the song that I enjoyed the most was, I think, Holy Water by Davido featuring Victony, produced by Musa Kids. I think that was my favorite song of the album. Then the last song, which featured Omale, was also nice, but I don't know why the song is what people are, that's what is blowing up online. But I don't know, I didn't like it as much as I like Holy Water featuring Victony on the album. But that aside, one of the major things about this album that I really wanted to talk about, which many people might not see it as much, but me being from my career path as a digital marketer into PR and branding and management, this part actually was the part I was impressed with Davido's team the most, which was actually his PR for this particular album. Davido didn't do a long time PR. He did a very short time PR, like maybe a few weeks before the album dropped was when Davido started really promoting the album. That's when I started seeing him on different interviews talking about the album. You see him on the Breakfast Club, then you see him on very unique spots to which you don't really see a lot of artists go through, which is not using just the media houses, but using relevant people's platforms to kind of like promote your album. And that is one of the things that Davido did that was different from other people. And Davido, you see Davido on Daryl TV. How many artists will you see following a content creator stroke skit comedian, like partnering with them to promote your album? You barely see artists doing that. And you see Davido on Daryl TV. Daryl is a Nigerian based in the US that does content. He does his own comic type of content that looks very original, but it's a skit. And Daryl has kind of like grown to be one of the most relevant international, will I say, Nigerian international skit makers at this time. And Davido's team saw Daryl's audience and kind of like bought into the market. So Davido did 2 videos with Daryl. One was a skit, and the other one was an interview. And that interview, I enjoyed the interview because Davido was very vulnerable, very real, and very himself in the interview. It was just a relaxing, like 2 guys talking, Daryl driving, Davido was sitting down in his car, and they rode and they gisted. But the whole purpose of that interview, and also the purpose of the skits to which they did, was all to promote the album. And that was very unique from Davido and Davido's team, because not everybody you see doing that, taking that unique step to try to tap into the international market, and partnering with someone like Daryl to key into the international markets and just promote the album. And that's one thing I really give kudos to Davido's team for. Then another thing about this album, the PR for this album that I was impressed with, was the whole partnership with PlayStation. And that PlayStation partnership was really impressive because it was a reference to PlayStation's newest product, which is PlayStation 5 and 5 album. So the reference of 5 and PlayStation 5, the collabo was very in sync and the synergy was very good. You could see PlayStation 5 and 5 album coming together, and when they did their skits, you could see the references in their skits. Just watch this.
You are the God of war, you cannot be defeated by... He's here.
5. PlayStation.
Mr. Davido, how are you? I trust you had a smooth journey.
So we've got you for 5 nights, so the most perfect amenities here for you.
So look at the references of 5. This is the part to which a lot of people that might not really get as much. Some people are just looking at the aesthetics and they will not listen to the conversation here. But look at the 5 references. Look at it. 5 nights. Just listen to this.
How are you? I trust you had a smooth journey.
So we've got you for 5 nights, so the most perfect amenities here for you. Our restaurant is 5-star, does 5 courses. It's open from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m, which does make some people quite angry, actually. I hope you don't think I'm out of line, but I have organised something very, very special for you, and personally curated by myself, which I think is...
So you could see the 5 references. They've open for 5 nights, open from 5 p.m. to, you've paid for 5 nights, a 5-star restaurant, open from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And you could just see the references. And that was very intentionally curated. So you could understand that it's the 5 collaboration, 5 album, PS5 coming together to shoot this particular video. And this was very brilliant from Davido's team. And even the copywriter for the whole PS5 team really did a good job on this one. So I really love this from the PR. 5 hours later, very intentional, very deliberate. 5 hours later. Okay, you see the collaboration and the brilliance between the synergy between Davido and the PlayStation team. This was very curated and very well done. And yeah, a lot of people will miss some of the hidden gems inside the whole video, but of course that's why I'm here to tell you what you might have missed from the video. So this was very well done, and now the album is doing numbers, and so far so good. I think the song that is kind of like the trending song online at the moment is the one with Omale. It's the last song with Omale, and I think Only Water 2 is trending. The song they used for this one is Tech 2 was also a good song of the album. So this album in fact has a lot of good songs. It has a lot of good songs. There were no misses, but there were some songs that were not really my type of songs in the album, like the one featuring Offer featuring who did he feature in Offer? Well, I didn't really like Offer I didn't really like Offer like that, but it's not just my preference. He even dropped a video for Offer Festival. I didn't like that song. But tell me what you think about the whole album. I think the album is a good album, and I rated it a 7.5 over 10. Shank rated it a 7 over 10. I think anybody that is not a hater, like that certain guy, that certain ex-influencer with his head like this thing, that certain ex-influencer, sha. If you're not a hater like that guy, I think you rate the album somewhere from a 7 to an 8.5, or you can't put it on a 9, because I don't think it's one of the best. I think so far so good. When I'm talking about best Davido albums, I don't even know what to even say in terms of best Davido albums. But this one is quite up there with some of the albums. Just tell me what you think about the album from your own scale. What do you rate the album? I go by the name East Coast Prince. This is the East Coast Show, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.